Tonight, a growing firestorm around President-elect Trump's pick to lead the nation's health department, RFK Jr. The New York Times reporting Kennedy's lawyer, Aaron Siri, asked the FDA 2 years ago to revoke approval of the polio vaccine, which has been used for nearly 70 years to inoculate millions against that deadly disease.
The polio vaccine is one of our safest vaccines. It's actually responsible for almost the near extinction of wild polio virus.
The new revelation sparking swift backlash.
You can't make this stuff up.
Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren blasting Kennedy in a video posted to X.
Say goodbye to your smile and say hello to polio. This is a man who...
They always jumping on their chance to say something crazy. All the things Biden and them doing, they just jump on everybody else. It does sound crazy to want to get rid of the polio vaccine, though. And from what I know, it was a dangerous vaccine. You know, you see people on iron lungs and things like that, could barely breathe from like way back. I don't even know what time period. But half a million people was dying a year of this. Like anything that's that many people dying a year of is very dangerous. But what has he said? What was the reason? Did he do research? Did he say this is why it's bad? What is the reason? We just can't say, oh, this is a crazy idea. Why? What was his justification? And if it is crazy, throw him out with the bathwater.
Who wants to stop kids from getting their polio and measles shots. He's actually welcoming a return to polio, a disease we nearly eradicated.
Republican Senator Mitch McConnell, a polio survivor, also speaking out in support of the vaccine, saying efforts to undermine public confidence in proven cures are not just uninformed, they're dangerous. Adding, anyone seeking the Senate's consent to serve in the incoming administration would do well to steer clear of even the appearance of association.
Mitch McConnell just fell and broke his wrist and scratched his face. They ain't got nothing to do with this, but he need to sit down somewhere. That's just a side note.
With such efforts, in response to the New York Times reporting, Kennedy and the Trump transition team releasing identical statements saying the polio vaccine should be available to the public and thoroughly and properly studied.
Okay, look, right there. Right there, we have the polio vaccine should be available to the public. We all agree. And thoroughly and properly study. Okay, let's study the side effects. What if they came out and saying, you know, the polio vaccine is actually linked to the rise of autism or something? I don't know. They're just throwing out something. Then we would all rethink that. We would all rethink it. Even though it's great and is welcome, we would all rethink it.
Thoroughly and properly studied. In a statement to the New York Times, Siri said all of his petitions were filed on behalf of his clients. Kennedy's vaccine skepticism has become a hallmark of his public health image, pushing debunked claims that childhood vaccines can cause autism. In an interview with Time magazine, Trump echoed those concerns, saying, "We're going to have a big discussion. The autism rate is at a level that nobody ever believed possible."
Pam is going to be great.
But in an interview with our own Kristen Welker on Meet the Press, Trump seemed dubious about taking the polio vaccine off the market.
The polio vaccine is the greatest thing. If somebody told me get rid of the polio vaccine, they're going to have to work real hard to convince me.
See, look, he's not. That's normal. Now, some people want to hear, I'm never getting rid of the polio vaccine. Forget it. No matter what you say, that's dangerous, right? But for somebody to say, it's presidential, to say, hey, you know what? The vaccine's great. I mean, somebody wanted to get rid of it. They're going to have to come with a lot of data, a lot of proof for me to get rid of it or say something about it. That's great. What else do you want from that?
I think certain vaccines are incredible.
Polio was once one of the most concerning childhood illnesses on the planet, a vicious infectious disease that sometimes invades the central nervous system, causing paralysis. It was responsible for more than 500,000 deaths.
That's a lot of people.
A year globally before the introduction of a vaccine in the 1950s. Now it's virtually non-existent in the U.S. and most other places around the world.
While in the United States, we're free of paralytic polio, there is still a risk if we stop vaccinating that we may see cases occur again. This is something that we really still need until this virus is eradicated from the planet.
Last month, Kennedy addressed concerns about his vaccine views with our Vaughn Hilliard.
If vaccines are working for somebody, I'm not going to take them away. People ought to have choice, and that choice ought to be informed by the best information.
See, right there. Everything they said before that, oh, he's going to do this. He actually welcomes the return of polio and the measles. Stupid. He said that they should have informed decision. That means maybe he knows something that we don't know, that he think if we knew that we wouldn't get it, even though it's beneficial. Maybe, but we don't know until we know that information, right? Till he get up there in the confirmation hearings and they ask him, so what about this? That's going to be a good answer. That was a good.
Aaron Gilchrist
question.
joining us now from Washington, D.C. Aaron, RFK Jr. still has to get congressional approval before he would become HHS secretary. So the question now is, how will this new reporting impact his chances of confirmation?
Yeah, that really is a big question. Part of this, you could say, is just sort of part of the process, right? We know that when you're chosen to be a cabinet level secretary during the transition process, there are going to be people who dig into your past. They're going to dig into the past statements, for example, of people who are connected to you. And so these things become a part of the news cycle. When it comes time for confirmation hearings, though, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. will have to answer questions about the things that other people have said to him, about him, or on his behalf.
Incredible.
Polio was one.
So basically he have that lawyer. I don't know what side he got. They got him to say, oh yeah, you know what? I filed that for my clients or whatever. I don't even know if he's supposed to. Well, I guess that's not really him. That's just a regular, right? That's not really giving up any confidential information. But that's a good question. And if we don't like the answer, then he shouldn't get in. Or they should keep him away from the vaccines and say, yo, just worry about the food and the colors and the dye and things like that. We'll handle the vaccine. You're a little crazy. But I want to know what he want to know. What he know. I want to know what he knows about the vaccine that made him have that. Or he could tell us, yo, that was my thoughts 2 years ago. Then I learned this, and that, and I was misinformed, and I learned, and I grew. Oh, my God, if a politician said that, then the drones flying over New Jersey are probably aliens. But maybe they could learn, right? Maybe they could pretend to be regular people who just grow and learn stuff. But we'll see. I like RFK, but this is politics. This is about leadership. I like Trump over Biden and Harris, and if he fucks up, we get him out of there too. Simple as that. We ain't playing no games. We tired of living paycheck to paycheck. Forget this. But we'll see what happens. Let me know what y'all think about the polio vaccine. Do y'all have any people that you know that's been affected by it? Or if not, that's a great thing. What do you think? Have you read any research? I'm not a doctor. I might deep dive and see if there's a lot of information out there. There's always two sides to a story. So if it's linked to this and that, and this is why we have this, and let me know. They have to have a reason, right? I'm sure to put this out, the lawyer would have had to have a reason or a justification or at least a defense, whether we think it's good or not, on why the FDA should revoke approval of polio vaccine. Let's see. But from what he said, he just want people to have informed choices. Then that's it. I don't care if you're against abortion, for abortion. It should be the person's choice. Even if you're religious, God didn't tell you, hey, your job is to stop everybody else from making decisions and going to hell. No, it's to get you to heaven and try to get your family and steer your kids the right way, not to get the entire earth, right? This belongs to Satan. He already gave it to him. Let me know what y'all think, Cave Dwellers.